Hey everybody, Dr. Robin Bond here. Since posting my last video, I've had a number of people ask me questions about sleeping in my car. And the funny thing is, I'm not a mind reader, but I already predicted the things that people were going to ask me. And while I was out in the field, I made this video. Enjoy. Okay, so I've decided to do a follow-up on sleeping in your car. First of all, how long have you been doing this? First time I slept in my car was sort of an emergency. I was out on a trip with my son and we were looking for a motel. We did not find one because there was an event going on and we were kind of desperate. I was exhausted, and finally I said, look, here's a Walmart. I know they let people sleep in Walmart parking lots. Let's put down the back seat of the car and see how comfortable it is. So that was my 2009 Pathfinder, and we fit pretty well. Wouldn't have been good for someone who was over 6 feet, but it worked pretty well for us. My son at the time was 14, and so he was still pretty short. Once I realized how comfortable it could be, we started doing it all the time. In fact, I've done several cross-country trips. Back when I had my 2007 Volvo XC90, I did several cross-country trips where I did not stay at any motels. Most notably, when I was moving to Washington, my youngest son and I spent, I want to say, 7 nights on the road. And we spent 2 of those nights with friends or family who live in the middle of the country. And the other nights we were sleeping in the back of the Volvo. That was pretty comfortable. That is actually the most comfortable car I've ever slept in. I highly recommend it if you can get access to a Volvo XC90. Their gas mileage is, but it's an incredibly fun car to drive and great for sleeping. When I totaled my Volvo, I got a Subaru Outback, and I could barely fit in there. It was really tight. I'm 5'9", and I had to sleep kind of diagonally, basically, to make it work. I never took a road trip with my son in that car. So at that point, he was over 6 feet, he would not have fit. That was kind of my emergency car. I got it with over 200,000 miles on it, so it didn't last much more than a year, and then I just got the Escape. So this is the 4th car I've slept in the back of. It works pretty well. I know people who have done far more traveling than I have, sleeping only in the back of their car. I love it. Second question is, Robin, don't you feel unsafe sleeping in the back of your car? I mean, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere, which is where I am right now because I'm out doing field work. The answer is no, I actually feel very safe because it's a car, it locks. If I were tent camping, I would definitely not feel safe being out by myself as a woman, but it locks kind of hard with the sleeping platform, but I can get the sleeping platform undone and back to driving arrangement without getting out of the car. And so I could just keep the car locked and put the seats back and drive away if it were a real emergency. It was a lot easier in the Volvo going from sleeping to getting into the driver's seat without actually getting out of the car. But actually, to be honest, I've never been in a situation where I felt unsafe. So a lot of times when I'm driving across country, I'll stay at a truck stop. I'll stay where it's well lit so that no one's going to try anything funny. And honestly, if there are a lot of people around, no one's going to do anything crazy. So a lot of times when I'm out where people are, it's not an issue. There are enough other people to keep me safe. Out in the middle of nowhere, I'm not sure how I would feel about staying here in the middle of the tourist season. It is not the middle of the tourist season. The lakes are frozen and people come here to fish, so no one's here. I know when I've been here, even in the fall, there have been people staying here in their RVs, but most people are pretty nice. I've been pretty amazed at how willing people are to just be friendly and to help you out if you need a hand, so I'm really not that worried. Third question is, how much did it cost you to build that sleeping setup? And I think the answer is about $80. Can't remember exactly, but basically 1 night in a motel. So I've already recouped that. I'm about to do night 3. We're taking a longer road trip this summer where we'll probably use it for 4, 5, 6 nights. So it definitely pays for itself. The reason I can travel as much as I can on the budget that I have is that I have this great resource of being able to sleep in my car. You know, and really what you need is you need basically a seat that folds down flat, which I've done that in rental cars. I've done it in a rented Nissan Versa, and it was a little short, but I've slept in that. You can do it in all sorts of cars, and it's a real budget option for those of us who love road trips and don't have money to spring for a hotel. So that sleeping platform was not the only thing I tried on my Ford Escape Hybrid while I was out on the road. Come back next week to see my video on what's this thing like in an off-road situation. In the meantime, hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you soon.